All right, lesson 6.4, moving on today from yesterday. Yesterday we looked at some problems that required us to distribute. For example, this one here where we looked and recognized that 6 meets x and that 6 times x is 6x. We then took 6 times 4 and had 6 meet 4. And again, 6 times 4 is a positive 24 because that's a positive. We brought down our equals and our 42. We then looked and thought we had to move the weaker number, and again 6 and 24 with x, and so the weaker of the two is negative is the 24. Since that is adding 24, we want to subtract it. We then brought down our 6x, our equal sign, and I believe 18, and then we divided by 6 because that's 6 times x to get the answer of x equals 3. We also did some with minuses or subtraction signs, so then we said 4 meets x to make 4x. 4 meets negative 5 to make, again, that's negative 5 to make negative 20 equals 12. We then again had to realize what number to move. You have a 4 and a negative 20. Again, the first number that should move should be negative 20 by adding 20 to both sides. We brought down our 4x, brought down our equals, and that makes 32. We then got rid of this 4 by dividing by 4, getting x equals 8. That was yesterday. The good news is if you've been working hard, you only have to deal with the flip versions of this today. So that is really good news for you. And that gives the rest of you, if you have not been working like you're supposed to, time to work on catching up. Because in all honesty, if you haven't caught up to this, then the only thing we're doing today is flipping it around, which is what you're going to see on my MathXL examples as I get to them. And we'll go from there. So give me one moment. That wouldn't be good if I forget my own password. Maybe it's not that. There we go. Whew, getting old. Anyway, again, this is what we're looking at today. Let me zoom this in again so you can see it. But this is what we're looking at today. Again, the only difference is that the distributive property is on that side. So we will bring down our 81. We will then bring down 9 times h, which is 9h. 9 times 5, which is plus 45. We will then move our 45. Again, remember the 9h, that's 9 times h, so that's stronger than plus 45. And so we'll move our 45 by subtracting it. So minus 45 and minus 45. 81 minus 45 is 6 makes 5, 36. And that would equal, again, if that goes away, the only thing left is 9h. From there, we divide by 9 on both sides. And we end up with the answer of 36 divided by 9 is 4. And the only thing that comes down here is h. I'm going to pull this down here and give you a moment to copy this because, again, this is your only new information for the day, which is just different. The only difference from yesterday is that all this work was on that side and all this work was on that side. So, again, make sure you copy this down for yourself so that you can have something to kind of guide what your boxes should look like. But other than that, that's really all I've got. Let's look at another one. Here we go, 5 times j minus 1. Again, first thing we want to do is distribute, and since we're just distributing, that means the 10 stays over here, and this becomes 5 times j, which is 5j. 5 times negative 1, remember that's negative 1, which makes minus 5. Key thing is making sure you remember that sign there, because if you do bring down a plus, you're going to miss that. But anyway, now that we've got that, we've got two 5s to move, and the 5 we want to move is not the one that's been multiplied, but the one that's been subtracted, and the way we move that is by adding 5 to both sides, giving us 15 on this side because 10 plus 5 is 15. That goes away, giving us 5j on this side. If you think I am moving too fast, it is probably because you have not been keeping up. And again, I know that might be frustrating for you, but just make sure you are working at the pace you can and making sure you're going back to watch other videos of this stuff because, again, the key idea here is that you actually kind of make this a natural thing. Again, for those who have been working, they know that 5 times j you move by dividing by 5. And so the reason I am moving a little faster is because since we have been looking at this, I think this is the 4th week that we've seen solving. So these steps should be the easy part. The only thing you need to do is get used to the different format of questions that we have. 15 divided by 5 gives us 3. Remember, I can tab over there and then bring down my j, and that would be the end of what I have there. Not so much worried about those questions. Don't forget you will have the ones on your homework today where they'll be on this side. So again, 2 times t is 2t. 2 times negative 3 is minus 6. Then bring down your 4. From there, again, the first number we want to move is the minus 6. Again, this is going to be getting kind of old to some of you, and I get that because it's very, very repetitive. But the good news is if it's getting old, that's because you worked it so many times that your brain already knows what you're supposed to be doing. So when you see someone solving this stuff very quickly, it's not because they're smarter than you, it's because they've worked 10,000 more of these than you, and they can see even more than you see. 4 plus 6 is 10. Here again, we want to move our 2, so we will divide by 2 and divide by 2. Bringing down the t, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I'm not so much worried. I will work out the negative here with the calculator this time so you can actually see that. This will be 9u minus 63. Again, I'm just going to kind of go through that because you had yesterday to kind of get these down. And I don't think I would be wrong for assuming that you've done your job. So 9u minus 54. I'm sorry. That's what I get for trying to go too fast. Equals negative 27. I don't know how to use a negative on this calculator, but we'll see if we can figure it out. Anyway, what we want to do now is add 54 to both sides because that is a minus 54. We then bring down 9u, and we go see if we can do this thing on the calculator. So what I will do, there it is. That's the button I was talking about, the plus minus. Now on this calculator, you cannot hit, I don't think you can hit negative 27. Nope, you can't. So what you have to do with this is you have to type in your 27, and what this does is it flips the sign, as you can see, to be a negative 27. The key idea on this calculator is make sure you see negative 27 before you move on. So negative 27 there, and then we want to hit plus 54 equals, and that gives us 27. Of course, from there we are going to divide by 9, but again, notice nothing's there because I'm not in the box. Once I click in the box, everything pops up. From there, again, our 9s go away, leaving u and 3 as our answer. Let's see what else we got on this. Do not forget that we still are dealing with decimals. So with that, make sure you're ready for that stuff too. Again, the values with x are 5.3 and negative 0.2. Remember, you must put that negative there. The value that should move first is the value that is here. Again, this is just making sure that we can still discuss the strategy. The moment anybody cannot discuss that strategy, it means that you really don't know how to solve yet, because you should be able to say with x are these two numbers, this number should move first, that number should move second. Solving is a different thing, but like I said, you should at least be able to visualize what's going on. So that is why I want you to be able to do that as it goes. Again, the first number to move is that. It is minus, so we use a plus. We bring down 5.3x and 42.4. I can kind of figure that out since it's just 2 plus 2. Then from here we want to divide by 5.3 and divide by 5.3. Bringing down x. And the only thing that ends in 8 would be 8. Is that 18? Maybe? I don't know. 42.4 divided by 5.3. 8, not 18. That makes sense because 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 3 is 24. You add those two together. And then the last one, of course, is on the other side. Give me 1 second. And the two numbers with it are 3 and 28.5. This is a perfect time to have to cough as I'm at the very end of it. The value that should move first is the 28.5. And the second value to move should be the 3. From there, we go to solve this thing. And again, we move the 28.5 by subtracting 28.5. Bringing down, well, the nice news is 5 minus 5 is 0. You can't do that. You would borrow. That would be 17. I think it's just 9. And then you end up with nothing but 3u here, which means now that we must divide by 3, because remember, in order to move this 3, they're attached. We divide by 3, divide by 3, and couldn't happen any faster as I'm about to lose all of my composure here with my voice. Again, U comes down here, submit it. I don't know if I've worked everything out, but again, the ones I did, I should have right. Yep. Oh, I missed something here. What did I do? Oh, yeah. How did I miss that? Oh, I'm silly. Put 5.2. Again, if you ever are checking over your quiz, this is kind of good for you to see. Whenever you're checking over your quiz, you see this red mark here. That if you click on this box, it'll tell what you put in there, and you can kind of see what you did wrong compared to what was there. And of course, I did the wrong number there, but as long as I did it right down there, I guess is the real thing. If you, by the way, if you did this on your quiz, um, actually, I can't say that because you're not the class that I'd review on because your stuff is more general. Anyway, um, just go ahead and make sure that you are practicing this stuff. Again, you got one more section to do tomorrow before we wrap this up. And other than that, good luck and have a good day.